This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money and your life. I'm John Deloney, joined here by best-selling author, international sensation, and good friend Anthony O'Neill, and we are taking your calls about your money, about your life, about the things that are going on inside and outside of your home, and your heart and your mind, and in your checking account. Anthony, how are we doing?
Good, man. How about yourself?
We're doing all right. So we're taking your calls, 888-825-5225. It usually helps to give the number here. Anthony, how's your week, month, year been going?
It's been a little rough, bro. But, I'm getting through it, man. We are fighting through, doing some things. But just grateful to be here, man, Yeah. Just grateful to be walking. Grateful for another day to get up and do God's work and do what I'm assigned to do, man.
I've had a similar. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What's a go-to thing? And I realize that there's millions of people listening to this. I'm just asking you as a buddy, like, what's a go-to thing for you when things get heavy, and when things are, man, kicking that leg out of bed in the morning gets tough.
Yeah. I think for me, man, I honestly just disconnect. Some people may say, like you as a therapist or a counselor may say that's unhealthy, but for me, I disconnect. So I get off social media. I get off of the cell phones. I don't respond to text messages. I don't respond to people. I just get in my own little private little prayer closet and just spend some time in the dark, breathing, meditating, reading something either spiritual or inspirational, just to reset my brain.
That's super healthy, Anthony.
Yeah. And so that's what I do, and it works well for me. And then honestly, bro, then I'm truthful throughout the day. If I'm not having a great day, people walk by like, man, how are you? Hey, not doing so great, but I'll be all right. When in the past, like, hey, how are you? I'm doing good. How about yourself? When really I'm doing bad. Or really I'm not feeling the best, but I should be able to be honest and still be productive, still have a smile on my face and still be good. So that's one thing that I do, man.
I love that. That's living an authentic life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, because before, I used to try to cover it all up, and I think covering it up is unhealthy.
Yeah, it shows it shows it down, right? That's you depress it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Man, for me, it's just like, hey, let's just be real, Ayo. You're not having a great week. You're not having a great day. But I can still be respectful. I can still smile. I can still be honest.
Show up and get your stuff done, right?
Yeah, show up and get the job done and go home and play with my little girl, Raven, and, run around with her and still be decompressing what's going on and talking through it. But really, for me, man, I connect with my mentor, my therapist, and my spiritual leader, man, just to get me back focused. Because what we do as a living, bro, we got to be on all the time. We are expected to be on all the time. And so sometimes when I'm home, I just disconnect it so I can be on when I have to be on.
I think that idea, man, like if you were to ask me the same thing, I'd say this, like, you got to withdraw and you got to find solitude, and then you've got to reach out to other people, right?
Have to.
Those two things, man. You got to.
And like your text message yesterday morning, I was like, man, I appreciate that, bro. I was honestly in my therapy, talking to my therapist, and right in the middle of that, I get your text message right around like 8:15, 8:30.
Turn your cell phone off during counseling, man.
No, I mean, I didn't read it until after counseling.
Oh, okay.
But when I got in the car, I was like, oh man, that's what's up, man. So I appreciate that, because she was just asking me how am I, and I was just being honest with her. And so to get in my car to see your text message, bro, that was just good. That's important too. When you are going through, make sure you're connected to healthy friends who know how to speak into your life. That can help you push forward.
It's become incredibly important to me after losing several people I care about over the last few years.
Yeah.
If a name pops into my head, stop what you're doing, make a phone call.
I need to do that.
If a name pops into my head, especially someone I hadn't thought of in a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a text message. I'm going to shoot an email to, write a card to.
Yeah.
You can never tell somebody that they're loved enough.
You know, that's pretty good. For those of y'all listening right now, to the millions of you all listening right now, whatever name just popped up in your head right now,
connect, man.
I think you need to send them a text message, give them a call, send them an email, send them a DM,
and some of you, that means
into them.
you're gonna reach out and say, "I'm sorry."
Yes.
Right. So you're gonna reach out and say you're sorry. But,
absolutely.
All right. Let's go to the phone here. Let's go to Haley in Kansas City. Let's see here. Haley, what's going on?
Hi, how are you guys? It's kind of crazy to be talking to you guys.
Well, we're excited to be talking to you. So what's up? How can we help?
So I'm actually about 2.5 hours away from Kansas City. I currently am self-employed. I'm a hairstylist in Manhattan, Kansas, if you know where Kansas State University is.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, I've kind of been struggling with if I should remain self-employed, if that's like kind of selfish of me, or if I should go back to being an employee. Quick background, I'll try to keep it brief. I currently drive about 1 hour and 45 minutes to work. My husband and I moved back to his hometown in north central rural Kansas in the fall. That's highway driving, not like city traffic driving. And I've been self-employed 1 year, survived COVID. My business has done really well. And I have an opportunity to maybe buy a salon space where we live. We would be taking out a small business loan to do so. We're debt-free. We're building up our emergency fund again post-COVID. I would probably take a wage cut if I went back to working for someone up there. I have a better chance of maintaining my income, staying self-employed, but then we'd have the small business loan to pay off on this long-term location. So
why does it have to be either or right now?
Well,
could it be something
that
you earned and you built up over time?
It could. So I signed I'm in a year lease in my current studio. So I'll be commuting until December, basically. But it definitely kind of takes a toll being away during the week. We don't have kids or anything, but I have dogs and
you have a husband.
I guess I have a husband too.
I've got dogs and
he knows. But I know I don't want to be commuting almost 2 hours one way, 4 days a week come next year. So I want to be closer to home, but just trying to decide, I guess, what the smartest thing to do is, and if that means kind of sacrificing my self-employment for a few years or...
Yeah, I think you've made your decision. You want to stay at home. I think it's how you're going to get there. Never in a million years did you take out a small business loan. And you've already signed a lease, so you're committed to this thing through December. So what I would do is look at ways you guys can sock away money. You guys can pack and sock away money. I think you can probably open your own business there. Or you can do both. It's when we get into this either or thinking, but you've made your decision up. You're going to move in, you're going to move back closer to home with your husband, work closer to home with your husband, figure out how to make it work, and do not take out a loan. For God's sake, don't take out a loan. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
This is The Ramsey Show, 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney, joined here with best-selling author and Ramsey personality Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your calls on your money and on your life. Whatever's going on, we are here to help. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Jessica in New Orleans. Jessica, what's going on?
Hey, guys. What's going on? It's such a pleasure to speak to you both. Anthony, it's just amazing. I recently bought your debt-free degree for a friend of mine because she really could use your wisdom. But I'm calling about my own situation today. I recently decided to walk away from a job of 14 years and dropped my family income by about $100,000. So I wanted to tell you kind of what I have and what you think I should do. So I do have about $230,000 in my 403B that I'll have to decide where that's going to go. Where should I roll that to? I have $75,000 in cash in savings, which is more than my 6-month emergency fund. I owe $143,000 on my mortgage, but I also have the money on hand excluding the $75,000. But I can just go ahead and pay that through the end of the year because I'd really like to just take some time off and enjoy my family.
Okay.
And I'm kind of just wondering, what do you guys think? What should I do? I have no debt other than my home. Our cars are paid for. We have no college loans that's paid for. I have a master's. My husband, he's been working part-time. My income allowed him to do so. We've always been very supportive when the other needs a break or needs a change, and this time it's my time for the change and the break. So what are your thoughts?
So Jessica, why did you walk away from the job?
So I'm a nurse, and I grew within the organization and went into administration and got to the point where I felt there was nothing more I could do for my team. I really loved my team, but it was just getting difficult to work within that arena in administration. So I decided to take a step back and think about something that's going to bring me joy and find what that is and take my time to find it.
Okay, cool. And so I believe you're in a healthy place right now, okay? I think that with you being 100% debt-free, I would definitely jump on the phone with one of our Smart Vested pros so we can get your $230,000 rolled over into an IRA. And so that way I would definitely jump on the phone with them like today to get that process started. And then from there, I think you and your family need to sit down. And now, are you married? Correct?
I am.
What's your household
married.
income now?
About $40,000. My husband works part-time, but again, we're pretty well. We've made good financial decisions up until now, so I'm not.
What's your
I'd
mortgage
like
payment?
To be able to continue. Mortgage payment's about $1,200. I've paid $20,000 on it since November. I've really been attacking it.
Okay.
Trying to get it completely paid for, but of course I'm going to pause since I'm leaving my job. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're in a good place. I think I don't have a problem with you taking off the rest of the year. Now, here's my only thing. Is $230,000 all you all have invested into your retirement accounts?
No, that's just my portion. My husband has probably $250 in his.
Okay, cool. So you all in a healthy place. I think what you got to do is really sit down and come up with a game plan for what's happening moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna take the next 6 months off, spend some time with the family, but next year, January of 2022, this is what I want to do, this is where I'm going to go, or whatever you all plan. You're in a healthy place now. You don't have any debt. The only debt that you have is your mortgage, and that's okay. And your mortgage payment is only $1,200 a month, and you have the cash to take care of that. I think once you start getting below your 6 months reserve, you want to make sure you don't go there. So I would definitely plan on making sure that you will have a game plan moving forward within the next 6 months. I don't know if I'll take off a whole year, Jessica. That's just my personal opinion. And so I need to watch doing that kind of stuff. But I'm saying for you, sit down, have a conversation with your family and figure out what's best for your family moving forward. But I would definitely look at a game plan within the next 6 months.
And Jessica, I spoke to a high-level exec this morning who is returning from a leave, and he said something profound. He said, the first few weeks were magic. I got to breathe. I got to look at my kids in the eye. I got to watch them. I got to have breakfast with them. It was, whew. And then he said about week 3, 4, and 5, I started getting really itchy. Mm-hmm. And this time off became as much of a burden as the time was that was at work, right? And so I had to begin reaching out to folks. I had to start planning. I had to start solving problems and moving forward. And so be intentional about the time you take off.
Yes.
And structure that in some shape, form, or fashion. Just this dream of doing nothing is so good in a vacation. It's so good for a short time, but we're not designed to do nothing, and that could end up becoming a burden too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. No, I absolutely get that. My days are well planned. It's time to focus on me for a while. I think these last 14 years have just taken a toll on me, especially the last 3 have just really hit my health. So I definitely have some big focus on that during this time. But I agree, I have to stay busy. But I have realized those aha moments where it's like, I look at my watch and there's no calendar appointment whatsoever, and that is priceless.
It will be priceless, and after you've had a chance to breathe, it will start to slowly creep. It'll create some anxiety in your soul, right?
Yeah.
Because we have that purpose. And in staying busy, don't hear me say you got to stay busy. You just have to be intentional with purpose, right? And that may mean I'm intentionally going to take a nap every day for the next 2 months, right? I am intentionally going to go exercise. I'm intentionally going to use my nursing skills to go volunteer. I'm intentionally going to get out there and do some things, but I'm not going to be held to a clock. I'm not going to be held to, all these TPS reports that I got to get turned in all the time. I'm not going to be held to that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
The administrative world, man, can take your soul from you. Anthony, the hardest thing I've working with professors who then, become, associate deans and they become deans. Most people got into the field of teaching or the field of nursing because they love that engagement with the student or with a patient. And then they're so good at it. Unfortunately, the reward for being so good is, let's take you away from that and give you a different type of job, right?
Yeah.
And then you're good at that. Let's take you even further away. And now you are managing light bills and you're managing budgets and structures, and you're so far away from that thing you love to do, right?
Yeah.
And so, man, there's an administrative burden that comes with that. Have you ever had a job in your life, Anthony, that you were so good at, they started, as the reward was, we're going to move you further and further away from it? I'm trying to think like in ministry, right? When you're really good at working with young people, then it's like, well, we need to get him on a stage. And then you do well on a stage. It's like, well, we need to get him into some administrative roles. Or maybe not. Maybe you've just stayed plugged in.
Yeah. I mean, all of my jobs in the past, when I did really, really well, no, they kept me.
They left you alone.
Yeah.
Huh?
It was like, no, we can't afford to have him leave that particular area, which is why I think sometimes transitioning jobs are difficult because the employer, it's like, well, no, you're the best in that position, so we need you in that position.
But that means you never have to grow and never get to move.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I've never been in that position.
Huh. That's a common experience she has that I hear from administrators who are in the healthcare. And God bless the nurses, man. What a year they've had.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The hospital administrators. How are we going to pay our bills? Are we going to serve all these people? I can just imagine. And good for her for setting her family up in a situation where they can actually take a break.
A young couple with $75,000 cash, only $143,000 on their mortgage, with close to $500,000 in retirement. Yeah. That's a healthy, vibrant young couple. She's worked hard to where she can take a few months off and just enjoy her family. And I think that's good, man.
It's good just to regroup.
Absolutely.
Figure out what's next.
Everyone needs a couple of months off just to relax.
Do we?
Everyone.
Hey, you and me, we're going to Dave with that one. I like it. I like it.
Oh, we may not get that signed off, but yeah.
Pretty sure Dave's going to say, hey, appreciate the email, guys. Y'all get back tomorrow. I love it. This is The Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here with best-selling author Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your calls on Money and Life. Let's go to area in Washington, D.C. What is going on?
Hello. I'm really glad that I made it to the Dave Ramsey Show. I'm a first-time home buyer. Me and my husband are planning for our very first home. We're looking in North Virginia region. And, you know, with the market being so crazy right now, I'm just kind of looking for a little bit more advice of what we should do, because we just see that, you know, prices for the homes are really shooting up. Everyone is waiving contingencies. All the buyers are lining up and overpaying for the house, on average around $50,000 on a home. So I'm really a little bit apprehensive of, should we kind of wait it out and see what happens to the market in the future and maybe go ahead with our plan next year, or what should we do?
Well, where are you currently right now in the baby steps?
I'm just recently started watching, and I'm familiar with the baby steps. So our income together, yearly income is around $200K. We have like $20,000 in debt, and we have saved like $100K for like 10% down payment and the closing cost. But yeah, we don't have really emergency fund. It's just kind of really be saving for the home. Yeah. So we haven't really started on the steps, let's say, honestly.
Okay. All right, cool. So no, you're not ready to purchase a home yet. Okay. Okay. Now let me tell you this though. You're not far away from it at all, to be honest. How much of a home do you want to purchase, for an example? Give me how much of a home are you looking at purchasing?
So we were starting looking around like 600 to 700, and now we are at the point that we have to kind of stretch it out if we really want to jump into this market train.
Okay, so you're looking at 600K home. All right. Hold on 1 minute. I'm just doing my math on my calculator right here. I'm not as quick as Dave. And so here's the thing. So check this out. This is what I would do if I was in your shoes. I would pause and wait till next year. Okay. And let me tell you why. I want you to be debt free with a fully funded emergency fund before you even consider a home. You'll be a stronger buyer at that time. So what I would do is I would take $20,000 out of you all's money today and go pay off all of my debt. All right. That's going to bring you down to $80,000. Okay. That's going to bring you down to $80,000. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at 3 months of expenses, because it sounds like you all are in a good, stable job situation. So you probably need about let's say about $25,000 to have for a fully funded emergency fund, right? So that leaves you with $55,000 left in your account to go towards a down payment. To get a $600,000 home, you're going to need right around $120,000 for a 20% down payment. That's a great way to get in to avoid a PMI. So what I teach is you have the bare minimum of 10% to 20%. So you're going to need the bare minimum of about $90,000 to $120,000 to get into a home. With you all's income, you can be debt free, have a fully funded emergency fund, and have 20% by this time next year. Now you're in a healthier place to purchase a home. Okay. You have no debt. If something happened when you moved into the home, at least you have an emergency fund for that. The game plan that you have right now, if you go out there and you purchase a home and spend way more money than what the house is actually worth, you're still going to have $20,000 in debt, and you're going to spend all your money on your down payment. You don't even have an emergency fund, but you make $20,000 gross a month. So that sounds good, but no, I want you to be safe. So my recommendation is push off, see what the market is going to do over the next 12 months. While you're waiting for the next 12 months, go ahead, transfer that money, pay off your debt today, transfer $25,000, $30,000 over to a separate savings account, a money market account that is simply just for emergencies only. That's going to leave you about $50,000 to $55,000. Then you and your husband sit down and figure out, okay, cool, babe, how do we get how do we get up to 120 within the next 12 months? What do we need to do within our budget to be a strong candidate to purchase a home. So that's my 2 cents on that. And I think right now you're in a great position. You're not unhealthy. You're not looking bad. I'm just saying, let's just reposition some things so we can be even in a better place within the next 12 months. This is a great question, man.
Yeah, and anyone who tells you, well, it's about to, you don't know.
Yeah, you really don't.
But here's the beauty. When you have a fully funded emergency fund, when you've put 20% down and the market
Come on, bro.
does what it's going to do, which is to go up and down.
Listen.
You don't lose sleep.
Right.
You go, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But you're in the house that you want.
Yeah.
And then you go to the next day and the next day and the next day. It's when you're leveraged out, you barely making that payment, you had a $600,000 budget, and then you buy a $700,000 house because you had to bid up on it, and now you've gotten underwater, right?
Yeah, and I think right now, man, right now the market is a seller's market by far. Like people are spending right here in our own city.
It's bananas.
It's about $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 over what they're asking for. 9 times out of 10, this is over what the house is actually worth. And so if you are financing a home, it's going to be real hard for you to get into the home if you don't have the money down.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is, I'm not saying do not buy. What I'm saying is just make sure you have your foundation and you have some cash so you can get into the home that you really desire. But for me, I'm not spending $30,000, $40,000 on that more than what the house is actually worth.
Now, we actually waited 9 months and we kept putting in offers, getting rejected, and then finally we found the right place.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Melody in Raleigh, North Carolina. Melody, what's up?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. How are you guys?
We are so good. Thanks for calling. How can we help?
Alrighty, so I am 19 years old. I started listening to Dave Ramsey when I was 16, right before I got my first job, and he has really helped, keep me from making a lot of young, dumb people decisions. Right now, I currently make with my current job around $1,100 a month. I have about a $2,300 cash savings and emergency fund and just side savings. My question is, do you guys think that I should be investing, or do you think it would be a good idea to continue to just save up into my savings?
So you living at home with your parents right now, right?
Yeah, I'm currently in school, and they allow me to live at home.
Cool. You're 19. I like that. I'm cool with that. I was about to say something else, but I like that. You're in school, $1,100 in income. We are 100% debt free. We don't have any credit cards, no car loans,
student loans,
no mama loans, no boyfriend loans, none of that.
Yeah, none whatsoever. I bought my car outright. I saved up for that, and I pay for my school on a monthly. It gets drafted from my account, $60 a month.
Cool, great. Talk to me about school. You're on a 100% scholarship, so we don't need any more books. We don't need dorm room, food. We don't need nothing paid for college to complete college 100% debt free.
I am not on a scholarship. I'm through actually an online course going through veterinary technician program to advance to hopefully a doctor down the line. I'm fortunate enough that, in the field that I work in, a lot of the vet techs have gone through that program, and they've been giving me their old books that they no longer need anymore.
Cool. But so it's not a guarantee that you will be able to pay cash, it sounds like, or you'll be able to get the funds moving forward to pay for college, meaning as that you may have to come up and provide some cash or get some scholarships in the foreseeable future, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So I don't want you to invest at all right now. The number one investment you can do, Melody, is invest into yourself. And what I want you to do is invest into yourself and make sure that you graduate 100% debt free. So this way, when you actually graduate college, you walk across the stage ahead of your peers. You walk across the stage debt-free, little money in your account, and you can enjoy your future. So do not invest the money into stocks, none of that. Invest the money into yourself. Save it until you need to use it to go towards your college. Listen to me, America. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Don't try and jump to get compound interest and you're racking up debt. Avoid debt. Then let's talk about how we get this bag, which is how do we make some more money. This is Anthony O'Neill. This is The Ramsey Show.
888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here by best-selling author Anthony O'Neill, and we're taking your calls on money and life. Let's go to Austin in Sumner, Illinois. Austin, what's going on, brother?
Not too much. I've just got a few questions for you guys.
Bring them on, brother. How can we help?
Okay, well, I'm 13 and I'm starting a little business. It's called AKW Farms. I'm going to be selling goat's milk this summer. Honey. Right now I make shells and stuff. I do a lot of wood crafts and stuff. And I was just wondering how much money I need to be putting back into the business and when I can start taking money out for me.
Austin, you just made my whole day, brother. You are awesome. Awesome.
Austin, how long have you been talking about this and doing it?
I've been talking about it for about 2-3 years. I actually started it. I mean, you could say I started about 2 years ago when I got goats, but I really started selling stuff last year at the farmer's market. I make shells out of pallet boards. Wow.
Okay. All right.
That's so cool, Austin.
Well, here's the thing, man. What I'm going to do is, because there's so much we can walk through this, Austin, and I just love your heart behind it. So what I'm going to do is when we get off the phone with you, I'm going to have Kelly have your mom or dad stand by so they can give Kelly your address, because I'm going to send you a copy of my toolbox kit, my teen entrepreneurial toolbox kit, where I'm going to literally walk you through the whole process. So when you get this kit, young man, I want you to read it with your parents, and it's going to teach you your sales pitch. It's going to teach you how to make a business budget, and I'm going to even teach you exactly how should you be allocating your funds. The first thing is going to really figure out, okay, what does it cost you to run the business? Okay, you got to buy materials, you got to buy products, so you got to put money back into the business. So we need to identify how much do you need to put back in there, and then from there, yes, what are you going to be paying yourself? What are you going to be putting into your checking account, into your savings account? But I think right now the main thing is that you will need to sit down with your parents and figure out how much money do I need every month to keep producing what you're producing. Have you all even talked about that already?
Well, kinda, yeah. Luckily for me, I can get pallets for free. My dad works for UPS, and whenever they're done with the loading, he can just pick up pallets, and we have a bunch of stockpiled.
So you've got a raw material just sitting there. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And what other tools do you need, real quick, Austin?
I've got a pallet buster, which my dad was wanting one of them before, so it's his, but I can use it. I use a circular saw, a jigsaw, hammer, nails, and usually some hooks. Okay.
So it sounds like your parents are already setting you up to win. So the income that you would need to put back into the company and then the income you would use to pay yourself may be a little different, depending upon, it sounds like your father can get you the tools and the material for free. So you may be looking at 90%, 80% of your income that you make will go into your future, and maybe 10 or 20% will go back to your father for helping him get the materials or helping your father get some materials for you down the road. So I'm loving it, young man. Let me ask you this question that's off subject. And again, I want you to stay on the line, and Kelly's going to get your address to send you a copy of my teen entrepreneur toolbox kit. But what are you going to do with all this money? Like, when you start making this money, how are you going to spend it?
Well, there's a few things. I'm buying a cow soon with some of my money I already have saved up from, because I do 4-H and stuff like that, so I have money saved up from the auctions. So I'm going to be buying part of a cow. Me and my parents are going to go in on it all together.
That's what I'm talking about, Austin.
And one of the big things I'm wanting is I'm saving up for a 22 mag rifle and a four-wheeler.
This dude is what's up.
This man just said, I'm saving for a gun and a four-wheeler. That sounds like a bright kid to me. Okay.
No, it was a cow and a 22 and a four-wheeler. You are my hero, Austin.
This is unique. This is interesting. Hey, man, I'm rooting for you. I am celebrating you, Austin. Stay on the line, man. Kelly will get your address. She'll send you that Teen Entrepreneur Toolbox kit. When you get the cow, when you get the rifle, when you get the four-wheeler, man, send me and John a picture of that so we can celebrate with you, man.
If you guys would like to see it before not before, but before I get to send you guys pictures, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's AKW Farms.
Oh,
hey, listen to this. Number one, brother knows how to push his name, and hey, you are better than I am at that, so well done. And yes, we will check out your website. Tell us one more time.
AKW Farms, my initials.
AKW Farms. Good folks, go to that website. Get yourself some honey and some goat milk.
From a 13-year-old entrepreneur.
Who's put it together. And all he wants, America, is a cow and a 22 and a four-wheeler.
Hey.
Help him out.
I am not mad at him at all.
Man, he could have said Xbox and what... Good for that kid. That makes man, he just made everything better in my day. All right, let's go to Stephanie in St. Paul. Stephanie, what's going on?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, what's up?
So my question is around paying down our house versus investing. So I'm 31 years old and getting married in June.
Congrats.
My fiance, thank you. My fiance is 34, and we're both doing really well financially. We're going to make about $240 combined. And once we get married, we won't have any debt after we pay off his car, which is about $19,000, and the only debt left will be on the house, which we just refinanced to a 15-year with a lower interest rate. I'm selling my house too, so we're going to get income from that. We both have emergency, like 2 to 3 months of emergency fund in cash, and then I'm also investing 14% in my 401k. He's doing about 6, and then we started doing about $5,000 into stock, health accounts, and bonds. Okay. So my question is, we live in Minnesota, but we're hoping to move closer to family in the next few years. My family's in Illinois and his is in Michigan. So we're wondering, since we don't know if we're going to be here long term, should we still be trying to pay off this house that we're going to be in as fast as possible, or should we be saving that cash in the bank or investing into bonds or something that we can pull out of when we're ready to make another down payment for the maybe forever home?
Two things. Why are you investing 14% of your 401k? Are they matching you your 14%?
Yeah, they actually match. It's an 8% match.
So do you have a Roth IRA outside of your 401ks?
Yes. Yep. So that's what I'm contributing. But sorry, between the both of them, I'm doing 14%.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like you're doing 8% over there at the 401k, and you're investing the rest over there. Okay, cool. Let's get that up to 15%. It was 1 more percent.
Okay.
That's that. And then 2, my answer is going to be yes. Continue focusing on the house. Here's why. Because you said possibly. Okay. You said possibly. If you knew for sure we're going to be gone in the next 2 years, I would say just go ahead and make the mortgage payments. But you cannot go wrong, because what if life changes and you all decide to stay there? Well, at least you are ahead of the game. And here's the thing. Let's say if you go the next 2 years, boom, you're going to get the money back. You know, it's going to come back to you because you're going to sell the home and you're going to make some more money on it with profit. I'm not into bonds. You know, I'm into mutual funds. I'm not into single stocks. I'm into just making sure that I'm investing in a good, solid way. And so for me, if I'm in your shoes, I'm going to keep attacking the house because that's the best investment. And if I sell it, I'll get that money back and then some when it comes to equity in a house. So that's what I would recommend for you. But great job. Congrats on getting married. Let's go ahead and get that debt paid off, though, because you ain't debt free yet. So if you all have 2 to 3 months in your emergency fund right now, use that money, pay off your debt, restock up your emergency fund, then start going on baby steps 4 through 7.
That's a couple that's going to get married and be able to sleep the whole night through out of the gate. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life and your money. I am John Deloney, and joined with me here as a co-host is Ramsey personality, best-selling author, and host of The Table with Anthony O'Neill, Mr. Anthony O'Neill himself. We're taking your calls on life and money. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Miguel in Las Vegas. Miguel, what's going on?
Hey, John, Anthony, thank you for taking my call. My question is about if I can afford to put an emergency fund for my mother without asking my brother for help. He's not in the best money situation, and my mom has no insurance at all, so I have to take care of her, no income. And I can give you some numbers and see if I can do it without my brother's help.
Okay, before you get to that, tell me what's the situation with your mom. She has no insurance. Is she needing to move in with you? Is she struggling? Has she got health issues?
She's with me. She's living with me. Her status in this country is not quite legal yet. We've been battling it for a while, and I've been taking care of her, and I don't know for how long this is going to be. She's 78. She's in a good health condition. It's just that we tested positive for this COVID not too long ago. She lived with me.
I'm sorry.
And that's when it hit me that I needed to have an emergency fund for her.
Okay.
Besides mine.
That's wise, brother. Good for you. All right, so start going with the numbers here, and Anthony will help you out.
Okay, so our income, this is my wife and mine. It's about $135. I got a debt of about $60,000 on a rental property. My savings are about $185. And after putting my emergency fund together, I'll be left with $164. I could probably sell the rental property. It's about worth maybe $240. Put the money for the emergency fund, or I can pay it off. I don't know which way to go. But I also got two kids that are going to be going to college probably in the next 4 years. So I also got that on top.
Yeah, so let me get this straight. You make $135,000 a year. You have $60,000 in a rental property, and you have $185,000 in your savings, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so why will you not just pay off your rental property? I don't think you need any more money set aside for an emergency for your mom. And I want to say this in a respectful way. It sounds like what you're trying to do is just prepare if something was to happen to your mother, which I think is wise. But if you have $100,000 sitting in your savings account, that's more than enough to properly, bury your mom if something was to happen down the road. But or let's just say something, she needs to go into the hospital. You have a good nest egg to get your mama into the ER if something was to happen even worse. You have enough money. So I wouldn't say set aside more money. I would just focus on clearing out that $60,000 in debt. And if you did that, that would put you right at about $125,000 if you paid off the rental property. You still got a good nest egg. And then I would just go ahead. How old are your kids?
One is 16, and the other one is 14.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just purchase my book off of Amazon or go to my website, anthonyoneil.com, and get the debt-free degree and start teaching your kids how they're going to go to school 100% debt-free. But I think you have more than enough money in your nest egg for you, your family, and your mother. I don't think you need any more money set aside for a nest egg for your mother. I think you need to pay off the rental property and then go ahead and start stacking up some more money and get prepared for college.
Does she have any I guess with her immigration status, there is no Social Security and there's no way to go out on exchange and get health insurance, is there?
No.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
That's why I am fully responsible 100% for her. Any emergency bills, any hospital bills, any debt that it's going to be towards her, it's mine.
Yeah. And I mean, 6 figures is more than enough for that, an emergency. I would definitely say...
well, I mean, a hospital bill can be $1 million, and at that point, it's $1 million, right?
Yeah, but I mean, for him to save...
You're not just going to have $1 million in a checking account just in case something happens someday.
Right. And so I think the thing is continue fighting the fight, you know, on the legal side. And then 6 figures, I mean, there's pretty much nothing else that he could possibly do right now.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing a great job, bro. I think right now focus on lowering your expenses, lowering your kids' expenses. So that way, if something was to happen, you have more than enough money to go towards your mother if something was to happen.
Okay, so keep the rental and just pay it off.
I mean,
right?
It's up to you.
Do you like being a landlord?
Yeah, if you like being a landlord, I would pay it off.
You know, I always go back to what Dave says. If I had $240,000, would I go buy that house? Maybe not. But I look towards my kids' future. Maybe I have no problems whatsoever with being a landlord. It's great and it's paying it off by itself. But I'll go ahead and pay it off.
Yeah, I mean
that's what I wanted to hear.
I think you just pay it off. You know, if I'm in your shoes, again, this is not a Dave Ramsey opinion. It's not a John Deloney's opinion. It's an Anthony Neal's opinion. I like what you just said. I'm going to pay off the mortgage so I can pass that down to my kids to produce income for my kids down the road. And so that's how I personally think. I know Dave, for an example, whatever rental properties, whatever properties he purchases, he doesn't sell them. He will not sell them. He's going to keep them in the family for him, for his kids, for his grandkids down the road. But again, if you are not happy being the landlord, then yeah, go get the money and have that money sitting there. But for me, bro, I'm going to keep it and keep that and give it to my kids and let them decide if they want to sell it down the road. I'm thinking generational wealth. I'm thinking legacy. I'm thinking, how do I help my kids produce income down the road? That's what I'm thinking, Miguel. And I think this is a good opportunity for you to be in position to pass something down to your kids that is lucrative for them down the road.
Tell me about your relationship with your brother. You mentioned you don't want to ask him for money.
Well, he's not in the best position to be contributing with he's been struggling too.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to push him to get to you guys a little more to your show. And he's not in a great position. I have a good relationship with him. I just don't want to put that burden on him as well.
So I think he won the lottery when he got Miguel as a brother. Because, Miguel, you are a guy that takes care of your family. You're a guy that's got your financial house in order. You're a guy that's thinking about his kids. And you're a guy that's thinking about the heart and the potential shame out of your brother to the point that you even want to keep him out of that. I think he would benefit greatly from you sitting down with him and saying, hey, listen, this is embarrassing for brothers to talk about. There's no shame here. There's no fighting here. I need to let you know that here's the decisions me and my family have made that have set us up in this way. And now we're talking about, do we sell our other house to help out mom, or do we hang on to it, right? That's a different conversation than mom may, have to go into a special living situation because we can't afford to keep her. And then you can give him the tools, send him our way. We'll get him the info that he needs. And now you're talking about changing the entire family system there, brother. That's awesome.
Solid.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more.
Have you ever made a dumb decision with zeros on the end because you didn't do your research? Yeah, me too. I have. Most people make choices based on feelings or opinions, especially when buying a house. But when it comes to the real estate market, feelings aren't your friend. Facts are. So check your facts. Find out what you can actually afford. Research what's trending in home prices. Talk to a reputable real estate agent in your area. Never buy a house without the facts. Again, text HOUSE to 33789 and get an agent who will help you make smart decisions. That's HOUSE to 33789. All right, let's go to Katie in Tampa, Florida. Katie, what's going on?
Hi, you guys. Thank you so much for taking my call.
You bet.
So I'm 27 years old, and I have no college debt. I just recently paid off my first home purchase. And for the last probably 2 or 3 years, I've actually been able to max out my retirement account. So I'm kind of in this position now where I have quite a bit of capital just kind of sitting in a savings account. And I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing with it. Obviously I should be investing it. And I am. I've got $70,000 in a brokerage account that I'm just kind of self-managing right now in some mutual funds.
Yeah.
But then I've also got another $60,000 that's just sitting in savings accounts. And so I don't know, I guess I just wanted to see what your guys' opinion was. Should I be looking at real estate, or I don't know, what do your guys' thoughts?
Hey, Katie, I definitely want to sit here and say, man, I mean, it's not often we meet a 27-year-old that just says, hey, yeah, I paid off my house, and just flies by it and says, yeah, then I got this other issue over here. I just want to call this out. Hey, you're winning, queen.
Yeah, you are.
You are
Thank you guys
winning.
so much.
You are a young queen out here doing her thing. I know that's probably bad grammar, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I
do sales for commission.
Okay.
So yeah, I go hard.
Yes, I love it. Well, here's the thing. I definitely want to get that $70K in the brokerage account actually with an actual financial advisor. So what I would recommend, Katie, is jumping on the line and sitting down with one of our financial advisors, aka a SmartVestor Pro. And so he can literally, or she can literally sit down with you and be a teacher along this journey, because right now you need to be taught how to set yourself up to be a millionaire within the next 20 years. And with your wisdom, with your knowledge already, with your talents, with your income, you have the capability of doing it even before 20 years. So I would encourage you to get with a financial advisor who has a heart of a teacher that will sit down with you and say, okay, we're going to move this money, put this over here, we're going to put this over there. Out of the $60,000 cash, you need to have 6 months reserved. I'm going to say go ahead and just stretch yourself to 6 months reserved of your bare minimum of your expenses.
Yeah, I have that. That's separate. I didn't include that.
Okay, cool. So then you keep that. So the other part of it is just sit down and see how can you properly invest it. Now, when it comes to the leftover money, if you want to get into real estate, do it. That's great. One of the things that I'm looking into is land. We can't make any more land. We can continue building buildings, but I'm looking into how do I purchase land for my kids' kids? How can I purchase this lot of land, or purchase, a couple of acres over here and pass it down to my kids, or purchase that so I can build something on it down the road and then rent that out down the road. So I think the first step is sit down with a financial advisor. Start investing into the stock market, mutual funds in a healthy, solid way. Then extra money from there, start setting aside to where you can pay cash for real estate options. And I think that's a great real estate or a side business that you may want to start up. I would definitely look into Chrissy Wright and get a copy of her book, Business Boutique. Actually, I think her academy is actually opening up here soon, Katie. So I would definitely look into that if you want to start a business that can generate some more income for you on the side while you do exactly what you do in sales. But
what are you selling, Katie?
I do worksite benefits, specifically life insurance and then supplemental health plans as well.
Gotcha.
So you must be real good at this.
I mean, yeah, she's selling like hotcakes, bro.
So if I didn't, I mean, I've had a financial advisor in the past, and my sister used him. That's why I used him. But he was very young, and I kind of was just not super, impressed with, I guess, the performance.
Because of his age or because of his performance?
Performance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, performance. I just didn't like.
I can respect.
I don't know. I also wanted more accountability. Like, I wanted to kind of force myself to kind of learn a little bit more. But yeah, I do think it's a really, really good idea for me to get a financial advisor.
Yeah.
What's a reasonable? I know it goes by percentage of assets managed. Is
right.
1% reasonable? Is 1.5 high? I don't really know.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say what's reasonable, because I think it all depends on who you're talking to. Our financial advisors do not work for us, and so they have the right to say what they want to charge. But I would definitely say they've been through a very hard process to be a SmartVestor Pro. And so whatever they're asking for, we know that, and we agree that their percentage or their cost is worth their time. So I would definitely just say, just jump on, go over to DaveRamsey.com, go to RamseySolutions.com, type in SmartVestor Pro, and you will see one, and you're going to get 5 to 6 phone calls within a matter of 5 minutes of you filling out this application. Interview all of them. Spend some time. Ask a lot of questions. Ask them, what are their fees? Ask them hey, will you be willing to teach me? Will you be willing to take some time with me and educate me on this process? And then from there, you just make the best decision upon yourself. But I do know different financial advisors charge different fees. But I think everyone is worth their fee. You just got to feel as if you believe that they're worth that fee.
And I think she brings up a great point. When you're talking about a financial advisor, you're talking about a counselor, you're talking about any professional that you go to. Mm-hmm. You don't owe them anything.
No.
Right?
No.
So if you go to a financial advisor and you hear their pitch and you hear their fee and you feel like they're selling you some sort of package because that's the package of the month that they're trying to offload because it's going to up their, you smile and walk out the door with your head held high.
Yeah.
And if you go sit down and with a counselor for the first time and they spend more time talking about themselves and how smart and fancy they are and they're telling you what, get up and walk out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? You, it doesn't surprise me at all. Katie is both brilliant and strong, and she's decisive. I actually shopped around when it came to fees, and I pushed the guy I landed on real hard when it came to fees. Mm-hmm. I wanted to know, are you getting paid regardless, or are you getting paid based on the quality of your advice? I had a lot of questions about fees.
Yeah.
And so it's going to depend on how much money you got, obviously, but it's going to depend on what you want them to do. Do you want them to set it and forget it? Do you want them to manage that? It's all that stuff goes into the part of that conversation. But Katie, I love your heart and say, man, I sat with somebody. They weren't great. I didn't like their performance. And so I didn't feel comfortable with them. I left. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
This is your legacy. This is your future. If you're talking about counseling, this is your mental health. This is somebody that you're giving access into your soul.
Yeah.
Be totally comfortable with that interaction.
Yeah.
And they should teach you, not demean you. They should inform you and walk alongside you. One of the questions I ask everybody, what are your goals? What are your goals? I always tell them, what do you do for your family? What is the portfolio that you have for your family? Mm-hmm. It's well, I don't really want to talk about. Then I'm going to walk out the door because if you don't trust your family with it, I don't think I want it, right? Ooh. And so the person I landed on actually sent me their family stuff.
That's good.
This is what my family's in right now, and I said, "Cool, put me in that." Right? Because if you're going to trust your money and your legacy with what you know of the market and your kids' legacy, that's good enough for me.
That's good, bro.
I know, man, they're trying to sell me some package. Good for you, Katie. That made my heart feel good. Hey, call SmartVestor Pro. Good folks. This is The Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. This is the Ramsey Show. Let's go out to Louisville, Kentucky, and talk to Terrence. Terrence, what's going on, my man?
Okay, thank you.
What's up?
Yes, how you guys doing today?
We're doing outstanding, good man. How can we help?
Hey, I was trying to see, Mr. O'Neill, I read your book with my granddaughter, and she's very young. Now, she's only 11 years old, but she's motivated to, start, doing things now to make money. I was trying to just see if you guys could help me brainstorm on how she could start raising money now as a young person.
Oh, man, that's a good question. Yeah, so she's 11 years old. We're trying to figure out how to start raising money for your granddaughter right now. Do you and your, on the parent side of thing and grandparent side of thing, do you all have a 529 already open in her name?
No, and I was talking to her parents, really not into that type of stuff, and I think she's going to be out there flapping unless I do it. So I was trying to see ways that I could help her do it on her own if her parents weren't doing financial things.
Yeah,
smart financial things.
So, Terrence, you can open up a 529 in your daughter's name. You will just need her Social Security information. You will need her name and Social Security. So if you can get access to that, you can do that. Because I have 529s. My parents and I have a 529 in the name of my nieces and nephews. And so you can do that now. And I will go ahead and start maxing that out as much as possible. So like when she come over your house, grandpa's house, have her work around the house and tell her, hey, I'm gonna put some money inside of this account for you every time you work. So that's one thing that you should do and jump on it right now. How's her education process? Does she seem like she's going to be smart going into the middle school and high school year?
Yeah, very, very smart. She was all into that about the good grades and applying for scholarships and those type of things.
So that's one thing I would tell her to really do as her grandfather. Talk to her a lot about her grades. Say, hey, listen, your grades, your academics, what you do in middle school and high school will determine what school you go to and where you go. And so when she gets into middle school, I would start having a conversation with her parents, but hey, let's get her ready, because you read inside of my book, Debt Free Degree, right around the 8th grade, she can get inside the Duke program. And so if she can get inside that program, that's going to open up a lot of scholarships for her. And so I would definitely say focus on opening up a 529 right now. The number 2, make sure that you really have a serious but fun conversation around her grades, making sure that she knows middle school, it starts right here. Baby, you need all A's, okay? You can get 1B here, but we need all A's so that way you can go to her school. Here's another thing that has nothing to do with money. And America, I want y'all to hear me because Terrence asked a great question. In my book, I teach people how to go from the 7th grade up into the 12th grade on how to get into college debt free. Everyone says, well, why start so young? Well, here's the thing, John, that I learned. One of my homegirls has a school here in Nashville. And in elementary school, she does college visits for 4th and 5th graders. And I said, well, why? And this is, Terrence, something that you should do with your granddaughter. Take her on a college visit. Now, why so young, Anthony? She's only 11 years old. Well, because young people at that age, they are impressionable. So when they walk around this big old campus, you can take them to a community college and they're going to think that they're just in heaven. Like, oh, this is so cool. And so as she grows, she's going to say, my granddaddy took me to a college, and granddad, I want to go back there. Granddaddy, or mom and dad, I want to do this. I want to go to school. I want to do that. Why? Because of what her grandfather did when she was 11 years old.
It puts a picture of what college actually is in her head.
Yes.
She sees young people walking around. It starts to make sense.
Yes. So Terrence, that's one thing, Pops, I would do. I would just, tell your kids, hey, I just want to take her on a college visit. They may say, Dad, that makes no sense. Okay, cool. That's why I'm not asking y'all to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take her out there and expose her. If we can expose our young people to music, to hip hop videos, to the latest dances, then we can expose our young people to something educational, something informational, something that will change their life, not just make them go viral on Instagram, but that can make them go viral in life. Because when she comes back, I want to go to school. Granddad, what I got to do to come here? You need to get good grades. Okay. You need to focus in class. You need to be obedient to your teacher. You need to listen to your parents. And so I gave you 3 things that are not really practical money-specific things for your granddaughter to do. These are 3 things that if you and her parents can set up and do right now, it would change the trajectory of your granddaughter's future. Make sense, Terrence?
Yes, without a doubt. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Well, hey, Terrence, I'm going to throw 2 more on?
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
Number 1, I want to shout out Terrence and every grandparent, every granddad. I'm just going to focus on granddads. The fact that you were sitting down reading books to your granddaughter.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that's legacy changing in and of itself, Terrence. That's an investment in young people with your most precious resource that you can never get back, and that's your time.
Yeah.
And that is communicating to this 11-year-old girl that she has value, that she is loved, she's got purpose. Granddaddy reads to her, man. Good for you. Here's the other thing. In addition to the Anthony, I've never even thought of that, and I love this idea of putting actual pictures into the hearts and minds of our kids. Terrence, I want you to raise, to co-raise, right? It sounds like you've got a lot of influence on that young lady. I want you to let her know that she is strong and that she is fierce and that her opinions matter. And that starts with sometimes when you talk to her, I want you to bend down and look her in the eye and say, hey, how did that feel? How does that make you did you like that? Tell me why you liked it. Tell me why you didn't. I want you to be the person, this powerful paternal influence in her life that teaches her that her inner voice is strong, that teaches her that her thoughts and opinions have value to them. They might not always be true, but you're building these blocks so that when she shows up at whatever school, she's going to walk into every class and know, my granddad found value in me, my parents found value in me, I can do hard stuff.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come in a classroom. That comes from people who love you, who pour into you, who aren't just throwing advice at you all day, who aren't just saying, do this, do that, saying, hey, tell me about this, because I'm training somebody how to think, how to own themselves, right?
Yeah.
Good for you, Terrence. Man, that may be my favorite call today so far.
Man, it is, man. And I want to say this again, America. I want y'all to hear me clearly. This is Anthony O'Neill saying this. I get so frustrated, bro, when I get on Instagram, when I get on Facebook, and I see parents celebrating that their daughter knows the latest hip-hop song, celebrating their daughter or their son knows the latest dance that's out there. And then they want to call me and say, hey, how do I educate my kids on this and that? It's the same thing that you're doing. You know, you're teaching them, you're allowing them to learn this. No, stop that. Get them off of Instagram. Get them off of Facebook. Get them off of YouTube. Tell them to sit down in front of a computer screen and learn and look at colleges, learn and look at how to budget. Since my little nephew, Theo, he was my first nephew, since he could walk and talk, every time he got around myself, every time he got around his parents with me, we talked about money. Christmas last year was the first time I sat down and I explained to them, hey, this is why your uncle put $1,200 inside of your 529. Each one of y'all's 529 because I want you to go off to college. Well, what's a 529, Uncle Anthony?
Game on now.
They don't understand anything I'm saying, but they're asking the question. Well, what is a 529, Uncle Anthony? I have the conversation. And as they get older, now they're starting to process things because why? When they were a little kid, we started teaching them things ahead of their time. No 5-year-old should know some hip-hop dance like that, doing it better than a 30-year-old person.
But when a 5-year-old moves and mom lights up and picks up the camera, then the kid gets the dopamine hit that says, that's where my value is.
Exactly.
Now, if they sit down and have to listen to another boring lecture from Uncle Anthony, what they're going to remember is, wait a minute. To change futures, you plan way in advance.
Come on, man.
You plan way in advance. And you have conversations with people they don't even want to hear.
Come on, man. My nephews and nieces know the difference in the asset and liability. They know the difference between a credit card and a debit card. And half of y'all older people don't even know what the difference is.
Our federal government does not know the difference between asset and liability.
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely right.
Listen, everything you do, your kids are watching.
Yeah.
Your kids are learning.
Yes.
Tell them that education is important. Tell them that their
time is
important.
And before we go to break, it is our responsibility to train them up in the way that they should go. Start training them the right way, America.
And turn off TikTok. This is The Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. We're taking your calls on life and money. Let's go to Jarrett in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Jarrett, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man?
We're doing great. How can we help?
So I'm 19 and I have $12,000 and no debt, and also I'll be getting a tax return plus both stimulus checks because I didn't receive the first one. And then I was just wondering, I can't decide whether I should put it towards investing or set it aside for a business. And I also still have to follow baby step 3, but I've been working 2 jobs for 6 months, and plus I pick up side jobs when I can, and I've sold all my junk, so I've been in full gazelle mode.
Okay. Jared, what are you doing with your life, man? So you're 19 years old, got some good savings, you have no debt, but you're working 2 jobs. Like, what's the end goal? Like, are you trying to land a career? Are you doing something right now to see what you want to do so you can go into college? Like, talk to me 10 years down the road. Where do you see yourself? What are you doing 10 years from now?
Well, I would say I'd like to just perfection what I'm doing right now. I'm remodeling bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
And
awesome.
I'd like to take that under my belt for myself, just so even if I don't make a career, it's like a plan B thing. So I'd like to be an entrepreneur, but if it doesn't work out for me, that with being an entrepreneur,
when you say an entrepreneur, now when you say an entrepreneur, bro, what do you mean? Like doing what you're doing now, but doing it as an entrepreneur, like you have your own remodeling business?
No, I'd like to have. I have plenty of different ideas for businesses. Like I'd like, just for a small example, I'd like to have like a T-shirt company, or I thought of like doing like hydro dipping. I'm not sure if you know what that is.
Okay. Yeah, I do know hydro dipping with wheels and cars and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know all about that. Trust me. You talking my language. And I think everything that you've said is great. Here's my question. I can tell you what to do with your money right now. But when I specifically talk to young people like yourself, I want to tell you what to do with your money that will set you up to do what you want to do tomorrow, aka the future. So that's what I'm trying to hear from you, and I'm not really hearing from you what you really want to do. So here's the very first advice I want to give you is I want you to sit down, okay? And I want you to go to KenColeman.com. Go to the KenColemanShow.com, if I'm not mistaken. Go there. I want you to listen to Ken Coleman. He's going to help you really identify what do you want to do. If you want to be an entrepreneur, that's great. Sounds like you're already doing stuff in the remodeling business. That's phenomenal. I love that. If you want to get into redoing cars and wrapping cars and hydro dipping cars and wheels and stuff like that, there's great money. I just had someone paint my wheels and do that with my wheels. Great money over there. That's cool. Let's identify where do you want to go. So what you can do right now from a practical standpoint, because it sounds like you are not going to college. You may have to go to trade school depending on what you do. Let's say if you do the remodeling things, I would want you to go to pick up some trade, get some education there, but it's not going to be a lot of money. So I would go ahead and invest this money right now into a Roth IRA. That's what I would do. Go ahead and finish your baby step 3, like you said. Get your 3 months of an emergency fund. And because you're really not really secure in your job just yet, I will go ahead and get 6 months. So that way you have a good solid savings account, and then take the stimulus check, going ahead, jump on the phone with a SmartVestor Pro, tell them, hey, I got about a couple of grand I want to invest into a Roth IRA. Go ahead and open that up and start putting money into that as early as you possibly can. But the key thing I think for you is not really what you're doing with your money now, John. I think he really needs to define where is he going in the future, because it sounds like he's just out there just trying a bunch of things with no solid game plan.
And the challenge with somebody like him who's good at something is that you may be really good at remodeling bathrooms. You may not be great at running a remodeling business without some new tools, without a lot of wisdom and a lot of failures and skinned knees. And so I love what you're talking about. Man, really map out. What do you want to do and how do you want to do it? That's excellent, man. All right, let's go to Michelle in Eugene, Oregon. Michelle, what's going on?
Hey there. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for calling. What's up?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. So I'm 54 years old and have spent, the last 5 years making really bad decisions. Lost a job where I was making almost $100,000 a year. Spent about 2 years looking for a job. Unfortunately, I thought it was a good idea to use my retirement to get me through.
Okay.
So now I'm looking at COVID. I lost my job last year, finally got a new one, but I am making almost half of what I was previously. So
you're making about
bills-
$50,000 right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that hurts. By the time I pay off all the bills every month, I have a couple hundred in my pocket for necessities.
Okay.
I have about $5,000 in savings.
Okay.
And I got $42,000 in credit card debt.
$42,000 in credit card debt?
I know. I told you I made some mistakes.
Okay.
I have $60,000 in student loans.
$50,000. Okay.
60.
60.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that I shouldn't have had because when I was working, my employer paid for my education.
Okay.
And my son was starting college at the same time.
Okay.
So I didn't want him to be in debt.
Okay.
And I assumed that I was going to forever be making this much money and could afford to take out the loans.
What other debt do you have? You have any car loans?
No.
Okay.
No, just my home.
Just your home. Okay, cool. So
And
right now you're in $102,000 in consumer debt plus another $100,000+ on your mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're making $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a shovel problem.
I do. I have problems.
We have an income problem. Okay.
Yes.
What you have to do right now, Michelle, is to really, really figure out what can we do. Right now, I want to say go get another job. I want to say figure out how to get 2 jobs to get your income up. But then I also want to tell you, hey, you need to check out our career expert because we need to get your income back up to $100,000. So this way you can attack your credit card debt followed by your student loans. And real quickly, because we're about to come to the end of the show, are you supporting your son financially in any way right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, great. So right now, here's your thing, Michelle, what you need to be focusing on is number one, in the meantime, go ahead and get you a part-time job that you can do on the side to get your income up. All of that money from your part-time job. You don't have time to be eating out. You don't have time to be taking your son out nowhere nice. You need to be focusing right now on how to get out of debt and pause all investing. Okay. I want you to pause your investing. I know you're saying, hey, I'm 50-something years old. I need to invest. No, we need to invest into you getting out of debt.
That's right.
Okay. That's the main thing. So that's my main thing.
Well, and here's the other thing, Michelle. You started this call talking about all the mistakes you made.
Yeah.
You spoke throughout the call as you were rattling off a rap sheet why you have a life sentence. And listen, you cannot continue to drag your past around with you and expect to get anywhere down the road very far. So as of today, you've announced you have called in and confessed to America, to millions. You did stupid stuff. Congratulations, you're going to have to get in line. We all have. We've done stupid stuff in relationships. We've done stupid stuff with our money. We've done stupid stuff at jobs. All of us have. Every listener on this show has done stupid stuff. You're not by yourself on this, Michelle. You're going to have to put that crap down and then be about moving forward. Yeah. So I don't want you to talk about your mistakes anymore. I don't want you to revel in them and roll around and collect them because that's called shame. Move on with them, put them down, and go be about solving this problem with another job and make this thing go. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit daveramsey.com/show and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your money and your life. I am John Deloney, joined here by best-selling author, host of The Table with Anthony O'Neill, Mr. Anthony O'Neill himself, and we are taking your calls on life and money. Give us a shout at 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Let's go right to the phones. Let's go to Taylor in Memphis, Tennessee. Taylor, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Good to talk to you.
You too, man. What's going on?
Well, me and my wife have a little bit of a difference, and you get to be the deciding vote. We own our house outright, so no payments. We own both of our vehicles. We have a little over $1 million invested. We're doing real good. We've worked through Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover years ago, and it's wonderful. Okay, here's the deal. I'm a pilot, and I would like to take out some of the money from our investments and buy me a private plane. I've done the math. It's actually cheaper than renting a plane and things like that. My wife is hesitant, partially because it's such a big outlay all at once, and we've never had that kind of money before. She thinks I should keep renting. She's not the numbers one. I'm the numbers one. And I'm just wondering, I know Dave has said if you've got $1 million, buy the new car. This is a little pricier than a new car. I'm just looking for some advice.
How much is the plane going to cost you, man?
I have capped out my budget at $100,000 for the plane. I'm only going to look at stuff that's under $100,000.
Okay, and that's for the cost of the plane. How much is the plane going to cost you, Taylor?
I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Insurance, believe it or not, is ridiculously cheap. It's cheaper than car insurance. The biggest expense on a yearly basis is the annual inspection, and that fluctuates. It can be as low as $2,000 or $3,000, or as high as $12,000, depending on if you've got to have work done.
Cool.
What about storage fees, gas?
Yeah, I mean, have you all sat down and said, all right, what is this plane going to cost me? Because I know several people who own planes, but they all say that the expensive part is not buying the plane up front. The expensive part is the maintenance throughout the years of owning the plane. So what is that fee a year for you?
Yeah, that is the expensive part. And again, like I said, I don't have my spreadsheet right in front of me. I did do the math, though, and I worked out that if I fly more than, I think it's 42 hours a year, even including maintenance costs, it's cheaper to own than to rent. And so, of course, obviously the more you fly, the cheaper it is per hour. Like I said, I don't have all those numbers right in front of me. But
Taylor,
I
don't have a plane. So help me with this. Is a plane similarly a depreciating asset like a car?
Not really. I mean, I guess over time they do depreciate, but it's very, very slow. I mean, you can easily go out and buy a plane right now from the early 60s, and it's still, you're paying, $100,000 or just slightly under for a plane that's 40 or 50 years old. Now, of course, new ones get far more expensive, but they do hold their value fairly well.
Cool. So what's your household income real quick, Taylor?
Probably around 70. I'm a pastor and my wife is a counselor. I mean, we don't make a ton of money, but we inherited well and have it invested.
Okay, so about $70,000 a year. And you want to go buy a plane that I'm thinking maintenance is going to run you about $20,000 to $25,000 a year. Just to maintain the plane.
That's probably on the high side for maintenance.
Yeah, but
like I said, this would come out of investment.
But listen to me, Taylor. Your maintenance is not going to come out of investments. You invest it so you can retire off of that income eventually. And so if you go buy the plane, the only way you're going to pull out from investments is if it's not covered up underneath a retirement situation. So if you go pull money from a stocks, I don't have a problem with that. I think my biggest problem is, and my biggest concern is that you only make $70,000 a year, but you're going to encounter on the high end maybe $25,000 a year in maintenance. My vote is no, Taylor.
Okay.
That's my vote.
And mine is not mathematical. It's purely psychological, meaning it may cost you more money down the road to rent. But the ability to hand the keys to somebody else and go home, and they've got to deal with new tires and gas and that one weird gauge and the fluctuations and this and that. There's a psychological piece to that making if you look at it this way, you're buying a $100,000 toy with a $15,000 to $20,000 a year price tag to operate.
Yeah.
Against your salary. It's a lot, man. There's something to be said for handing the keys back. And I know you've done the math, and I can hear it in your voice.
He really wants it.
Oh, you want a plane so bad.
But it's not wise to financially make $70,000 a year. And then you go from, and I get it, here he's debt free. He has, $1 million in investments. That's great. But here's the thing. It's like, man, do you really want to go into your retirement years with the $25,000 bill in your hand? And
a year.
A year. And it's like, do you really want to do that? So I'm saying no, because I'm just thinking of the numbers. Doesn't make sense. Now, if you was telling me you bring in $500,000 a year and, your maintenance is going to be $25,000 and you're debt free 100% and you got $1 million in assets, then I'd be like, yeah, that's okay, go do it. No, but your income's kind of low and I'm scared because I'm like, I don't know, man, that's tight. That's tight. Something could come up, and I don't want you to have to go to your investments until you are retiring. And then my goal is you're living off of the interest of your investments. You're not pulling from your investment.
Right.
That's my goal when it comes to retirement.
And this happens with planes. It happens with ranches. It happens with big fancy boats.
Yeah.
It happens with anything that we fall in love with. It's really a big toy.
Absolutely.
And a ranch can be a really big toy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And a boat and whatever that looks like, man. And I also have this feeling in my stomach. We just dashed this poor man's dreams. Taylor, I want to tell your wife, don't do the happy dance. You heard it in his heart. He really wants this airplane.
And he can possibly get it down the road.
That's right.
We don't know.
Well, he's got to earn some more money, right?
Yeah. He needs to earn some more money so that way he has some cushion for the maintenance. Because, again, that's $70,000 gross. So we're not talking about net.
Right.
So, I mean, that could be close to half of his income is going towards his plane.
And I just I'm always about risk, and I never want to leverage my family's finances on a toy, right? That risk is so high, right?
You ever thought about owning a jet?
Yeah, I thought about it, and no, I've never even considered that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, I dream about owning a Rolls Royce one day, like when I'm 50, 60 years old, but a jet? Don't want the maintenance.
One day I'm going to have a car that was made in the 2010 decade. That's my goal. I'm going to keep working hard. I'm going to get there, Anthony. It's going to be a 2015.
Why? You are the so soft, moderate guy. I'm the loud, flamboyant guy. But hey, you know what? We're both doing it debt free.
Hey, whatever works for you.
It is what it is.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Healthcare has gotten to be ridiculous. It puts people, on the brink. And so it would have put us on the brink had we not had CHM. CHM saved our life, saved our financial lives.
Christian Healthcare Ministries, or CHM, is not health insurance, but it is a budget-friendly option and the original health cost-sharing ministry for Christians. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget.
Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply. Today's question comes from Clayton in San Bernardino. Clayton writes, I'm a high school senior with straight A's. Way to go, Clayton. My stepfather refuses to let me get a job so I can save for college. Instead, he makes me work at his business without pay. Jeez, man. Every time these Blinds.com questions get my blood pressure all up. My only option to pay for college is going into debt, and I don't want that. I'm trying to get as many scholarships as possible, as well as financial aid from FAFSA, but I'm scared it won't cover my cost. What do I do? Anthony, I got all kinds of feelings on this one. What do you think?
My stepfather refuses to let me get a job so I can save for college. Instead, he makes me work at his business without pay. I'm going to be hoping that his father is not paying him today, but he's working for pay in the future.
It sounds like he's got a family business, and I expect your butt to be at work tomorrow helping fill in the blank, right? Helping do oil changes, help wash windows, help whatever. It's against the law, right?
Yeah, and I really can't answer this question, man, because it's like I want to believe that the parents have the best intent for their son, and that they're saying, hey, we're going to cover you. We're going to have the conversation. And I'm wondering if Clayton is thinking, hey, my parents are not going to help me get into school.
Right.
And so for me, yes, we're not going to take out any debt. No, we're not going to do that. But if I'm you, man, I'm having a serious conversation with mom and with dad. Like, hey, I have no problem working with the family business, but hey, what about my life? Like, how are we going to provide for college? Do you all have a game plan? Can we talk about my future? I'm not getting paid here. Are you all saving this money to go towards my college? Like, I'm literally sitting down and I'm having a conversation with my parents. On the flip side, for the parents listening in on this, remember, it's a two-way street. You know, it is your responsibility to guide your kids in the way that they should go. So have a conversation with them and let them know, hey, we're going to help you. Hey, here's our game plan. Hey, this is what we need from you. So I really can't tell him to do anything outside of talk to your parents and get a clear path of what they can do and what they cannot do. Then from there, give us a call back on the show and we can give you some better advice.
And I'll read between a couple of lines here. It says, my only option to pay for college is going into debt, and I don't want that. Then don't. That's not your only option. It may mean that if, let's say this plays out, Anthony, let's say that dad is only going to let you, is going to look you in the eye and say, I don't care what you do for college. That's not my problem. My problem is right now I want your butt back in there washing dishes or whatever this job is.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean your only option paying for college is going to debt. That means you may not be able to go to Stanford. That means you may have to go to local community college. You may have to get 4 jobs when you get out of school. That does not mean just because somebody is treating you unfairly, your response is to do something that's going to harm your future. That's not how that works, okay? I know you're trying to get as many scholarships as possible. That's awesome. Good for you. It might not cover your costs. You may have to work. You may have to put off college for a year. You may have to do any number of other things other than shackle yourself to college debt.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. It's against the law what he's doing, but if you're a high school senior and this is not a safe situation, unfortunately, there is abusive parents. There are just parents that are garbage. And it may be, Clayton, that you got to ride this out. You're living under their roof as a high school senior. The moment you graduate, you go get your own place and you're out of there. You may have to ride this out. And I don't like giving that advice, but there's kids that, unfortunately, under the legal guardianship of their parents, and there's safety issues there. If you're not safe, if your stepfather is continuing to abuse your rights as a human being and force you to work for free to the detriment of your future, let somebody at your school know. Let your guidance counselor know. They'll help you walk through the proper authority channels, the proper channels with the authorities. But this is a mess.
I ain't read into that like that, man.
You didn't? See, I did.
I think we're seeing this 2 different ways.
Oh, yeah. I
really
know we are. That's why I'm glad we are.
Yeah, I mean, I am glad. I'm glad, too. I mean, because my mother made me work for free. For free.
Okay.
But also, my parents also made sure I went to school. They also made sure that I was eating at home. They also made sure that I had what I needed and sometimes had what I wanted. But when I would go and open up my mom's daycare, and when I would come out after school and help her out at the daycare, my mom ain't never give me no check.
Right.
But it wasn't abuse. It was my mom and dad were teaching me how to work while they were also providing and making sure that I was taken care of. So it could be both ways. So I like what you said. If it is.
In my experiences working with so many college kids over the years has been, man, they come into your office and shut the door, and they let you know my parents treated me like this, right? And you get lots of those.
I got you. Yeah. I'm with you.
And so that's why I love a broad perspective here. Yeah. If this is not a safe place, reach out to your guidance counselor, man. Yeah. If your dad's just a jerk, man, you may have to ride this out for 5 more months. Yeah. Or if it's like Anthony's situation, go open the daycare. Yeah. And they're going to help you out, but it starts with a conversation, right?
Absolutely.
And it runs the gamut there from all different kinds of experiences. Man, we'll be rooting for you, Clayton.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, just because somebody's holding you up on this end doesn't mean you got to go do something dumb on your end.
Right.
Don't.
Right.
Don't. All right, let's take a call. Let's go to Nicole in Minneapolis. Nicole, what's going on?
Hi, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. You bet. What's up?
I'm just calling to see if I should pay off my car loan. I have about $4,300 left on that, and I have about $6,000 in the savings. And I'm just wanting to know, I just kind of started listening to Dave Ramsey's show as well as looking into his daily stuff, and I'm just kind of wanting guidance.
Yeah. What other debt do you have, Nicole?
So I have student loan debts, but I'm currently still in school full-time.
Okay.
So I will not have to start paying those back until next year, as I'm done this summer.
How
with my classes.
How much longer do you have? Oh, this summer, you're done.
Yes.
Okay, so have you already paid for the rest of the semester?
Yes. This semester is taken care of, but next semester is not.
Okay, cool. Are you doing student loans with next semester?
Yes, but
Okay.
I'm presuming I'll still have to pay about $2,000 out of pocket.
So
but I'm currently contributing $200 every month to my savings.
Okay. Real quick, how much is next semester?
With the out of pocket or with the student loans combined?
The total.
I would say maybe $3,500.
Okay, cool. I want you to pay cash for next semester. Take the $6,000 and put $3,500 towards semester student. That way you don't borrow any more money. Okay. Then you take the rest of the money, you put that towards your car, leave $1,000 in your emergency fund. But right now, I want you to go ahead and pay cash for next semester, so that way you're not borrowing no more money. Okay, that's the number one priority. Then, after you graduate college and you get done with college, take the rest of your money, put that towards your $4,300 card. Okay. And then immediately once you get your job, once you go ahead and just do the debt snowballs, which the least one will be your car, then you put your student loans behind that and start attacking it from there. But right now, don't worry about paying off your car. I want you to go ahead and prevent yourself from taking out more student loans, because long term, that interest rate will kill you. And I don't want you to do that if you don't have to. So pay cash next semester and you'll be straight.
It's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy here. It's like trying to eat soup with a hole in your spoon, right?
Right.
If you are paying off this debt while turning around taking more debt on behind you, right?
Right.
At some point, you got to just call it.
Stop it.
Say no more debt.
Yeah. If you want to get out of debt, you have to stop getting into debt. If you want to
say that again, that's like a prophetic statement.
I'm
Anthony.
serious. It's so deep, man. I mean, God just gave it to me. If you want to get out of debt, stop getting into debt. Okay.
If I had a xylophone, I would just.
Listen,
I would let it rip right now.
Listen, man. If I was in church, I'm not even gonna say that.
Stop getting into debt. I love it, Nicole. Hey, we're so glad you're with us, Nicole. A few months from now, you're gonna be out of college. You're gonna start paying your stuff back, and you are gonna walk a life a free woman. This is the Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. We're taking your calls on life and money. Let's go to Adriana in Phoenix, Arizona. Adriana, what's going on?
Hi, so I'm calling because me and my husband, we want to purchase a house, and this would technically be our first house. We don't want to set ourselves up for failure, but we also don't know, since it's our first time, we don't know where to start, what's good for us, what's not good for us. Is this a good time for us to try? We just don't know. We don't want to set ourselves up for failure.
All right, hey, talking to the phone there. Are you outside with the wind?
Yeah.
All right, get somewhere where we can hear you, where the wind's not on you, and then ask your question again. So y'all are about to buy your first house?
Yes, we want to buy our first house,
Okay.
but we don't know where to start. We don't know if it's a good decision right now with the market. We don't know where to turn. Like I said, it's our first time, so we don't know what to expect or anything like that.
All right, you've got the expert sitting right next to me.
Yeah. So give me a little bit of your financials. What do you all make a year right now, currently?
Between $60,000 and $70,000 a year.
Okay, so we got in between 60 and 70K. And do you have any debt? I can't remember if you said that. I was hard hearing.
We just recently paid off all of our debt.
Okay, so you're
Good for you.
debt-free.
Congratulations.
Okay, cool. How much do you have in your savings?
We have about $15,000.
Okay, so we got 15K. Now, is that a good full 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, I would say so.
What would you say it is?
Well, monthly, we only our monthly bills equal $2,500.
Okay. All right, sounds good. All right, so I think that you all are in a great place to start the process of the home process. So if your monthly expenses are running you about $2,500, this means that you're going to need about $7,500. So if I was you, I would just go ahead and make that a flat $10K into your emergency fund that you do not touch. So this leaves you at $5,000 in your savings account. All right. I see that you're in Arizona, so you all can get a beautiful home in Arizona for about $200,000. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for a $200,000 home in Arizona, which will be beautiful, you only need $40,000 to put down on your down payment to get into a conventional loan with no PMI. And so I'm going to say from right there, that will be at about, we teach, make sure that your mortgage payment is 25% less. This is going to be your mortgage payment and homeowners insurance and HOAs if possible. So if you do this thing correctly, this means that your payment shouldn't be no more than $1,250 of your actual take-home pay. So this will be $1,250 should be your max on your mortgage. All right. So I'm saying for you all right now, go into baby step 3B. Where number one is you're going to save $1,000 emergency fund. You already did baby step number 2. You paid off all your debt, and you've already done baby step number 3 by having, $15K in your savings account. You only need $10,000. Now 3B is when we work to save 10 to 20% of your money so you can have for a down payment on your mortgage. So I would spend the rest of this year just getting to about $20,000 in your account. Once you do that, go get you a home.
Okay.
All right. So that's the very first step. Now, the second step is once you get your $20,000, I want you to call Churchill Mortgage and tell them, hey, Anthony and John from Ramsey Solutions sent me to you all. We are looking to purchase a home. We don't have any debt, but we do have $20,000 that we can put down. And worst case scenario, if you find a great home and you can put down $10,000, go ahead and do that. That's fine too. But call Churchill Mortgage. Tell them, hey, you want to get pre-qualified. This is my budget. I'm not going past this. Here's the money, and they'll take good care of you. All right?
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Hey, I love it.
And then one final thing, I want you to get with an ELP that's going to help you navigate the home buying market there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So according to the United States Census Bureau, nearly 1 in 10 people relocated last year, and that was in 2020. And that means this year, everybody's buckling down. There's a good chance you or someone you know is going to be planning a big move. Now, I know it feels like there are 1,000 unknowns you're juggling when you're relocating, but you cannot lose focus of one of your most important personal and financial factors in your move, your housing, right? Just like we were talking about, man. They get so excited, they've done everything right, and then they're going to fall in love with that one house. They may overpay. They may not know in this particular neighborhood it's like this versus that. Get an endorsed local provider, right? I recommend hiring a quality real estate agent like one of our endorsed local providers or ELPs to help you find the right home in your city. Anthony used one. I used one. This is what we do here. This isn't just something we pop off at the mouth about. This is what we trust our families and our own home buying experiences with.
Absolutely.
They're top performing experts in their local market and have years of experience helping folks just like you make successful moves.
Yeah.
It's easy to get instantly connected with an ELP agent right now. Just text HOUSE to 33789 to talk with a Ramsey trusted agent about how they can help you with your relocation.
Yeah.
That's HOUSE to 33789. All right, let's go to Esmeralda out in Santa Barbara. Esmeralda, what's going on?
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
So my question is, my husband and I own a couple of properties, our main home, which has a granny unit, and we have a little Airbnb running out of it, and a second unit that's a duplex. My husband wants to hold on to it, but our mortgage, insurance, and utilities have left us kind of not making any money on it.
Mm-hmm.
And the rental market in our area has boomed.
Mm-hmm.
So I spoke to a realtor, and the suggested price that they say we could get for it is about $815,000.
Mm-hmm. How much do you have in it?
We bought it for $360,000, and we owe about $290,000.
You can sell it for how much again?
$815,000.
Okay. Well, what's the question?
I would have sold that yesterday.
So the question, well, the $815,000, I'm sorry, is if I add a third unit to the property.
Oh, so you got to invest money into it to get the $815,000.
Yeah.
How much money do you need to invest to get that money? How much would it cost you?
$27,000.
27. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this question. Why did you all get into the rental property? Did you get into it for the equity and long-term play, or did you get into it to generate monthly income?
My interpretation of it, this is where my husband and I differ. He wanted the monthly income, and I wanted to hold it for a little bit and sell it when it was more valuable.
Yeah.
He is under kind of the guideline that if we add that third unit, because it makes sense to add it for such a low cost, he wants to keep it. I would like to take that money and pay off our home.
Your personal
that we
home.
live in. Yes.
Yeah, I like that idea.
All day, every day, including Sunday.
I love that idea. And we're about to go to break. Here's my thing. I think you two need to sit down. You have some great options. If I'm in your shoes, if I'm your husband, I'm sitting down asking ourselves, okay, how can we pay off our personal home and keep that property and see if we can get that thing to $1 million and then sell it? Because you're right around the corner from it. So if we can keep it for another 5 years, see if we can get it appraised for $900,000+, and it's right around $150,000 on it that's owed, I'm gonna keep that money because that's good money, especially with a $27,000 investment. So this one right here, ma'am, I think you and your husband got to sit down and talk. You're debt free. You guys got some good money set aside. Figure it out. I mean, how can we pay off our home for sure? And then also, how can we keep this here to possibly gain more equity and then sell it? And then you're sitting on $600,000-$700,000 in your pocket.
And do not take out a home equity loan.
Do not.
To build that third unit.
Do not do it.
Don't touch it if you don't have $27,000 in cash.
If you do, I'm going to come out of this show and I'm going to come get you.
This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day comes from James 1:12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Thomas Edison said, the most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Try just one more time. And speaking of trying just one more time, and then, man, you hit one out of the park, The Table with Anthony O'Neill, your YouTube show, has just lost its ever-loving mind. Podcast is up and to the right. Tell us what's going on.
Man, one of the things that I love about The Table and what, our team is doing over there with the AO brand is we're really understanding that this younger generation of between 18 and 34 really want that real, relevant, and relatable and authentic conversation. The language over there is a little different. The community over there is a little different. The little tone and feel of it is a little different. And we're just having that real conversation about money. We are having a real conversation about how our relationships are impacting some of the decisions that we're making. That's impacting our money. That's impacting us and preventing us from actually building wealth. I'm making the word retirement sexy in the younger generation. And it's not a safe show. You're going to come over there. You're going to get my raw, authentic opinion. You're going to get some practical information that will change your life. And you're going to hear some amazing stories of young people from all walks of life, all ages, especially around 18 to 34. For an example, I have a show coming up with a couple, man. I can't wait, John. You're going to love this one. This is why everyone needs to go subscribe to my channel today. I have a young guy coming up. Him and his wife started off on food stamps. He's 33 years old, and him and his wife now generate $10 million a year in revenue. Wow. 10 million at 33, debt free. They just made it onto the Forbes list last month. They paid cash for a strip mall. Cash at 33. They didn't finance nothing. They didn't go and borrow no money. No, they paid cash. And brother, when I say we walk that walk, bro, we talk that talk on the show. Like I said, the language is different. It's not bad, but it's just a different type of language for a younger audience. And I mean, bro, I left that show. I left my own show encouraged, inspired. And those are the kind of conversations that I really love that we're having at the table. And I'm so grateful for our team. We have Chris Wright over there producing the show right now. Then I have my business manager, brand leader, Alex. Then Taylor and her team just made me an amazing studio.
So let me get into this. So I think challenges that as a parent I have.
Yeah.
Is I remember what it's like being 11.
Right.
And I pick up and transpose my life onto my current 11-year-old son.
Right.
And some wisdom is timeless. Some values are timeless.
Right.
And in other ways, life's just different.
Absolutely.
They do PE different. They teach, as Nate Bargatze mentioned today, they teach math different now, right? Yeah. What would you tell a parent driving down the road right now who's got a 22-year-old, a 29-year-old? It's easy to remember, when I was 22, I was fill in the blank. Yeah. When I was 29, I remember that. What are some things you're hearing like over and over, some common themes that are rising up from 25-year-olds and 29-year-olds as they're trying to navigate this just chaotic world that we live in right now?
One of the things I tell parents all the time, and not even just parents, grandparents, and older people, when they come to me complaining, well, younger people just don't listen. Well, listen, the message doesn't change. It's the method of how we deliver the message that needs to change a little bit. One of the things I love what we're doing here at Ramsey is you're able to reach people that I'm not able to reach. Dave is able to reach people that I'm not able to reach. I'm able to reach people that, some people here may not be able to reach. We're not talking different messages. We're changing up the method of how we deliver it. And so one of the common things I'm hearing from young people is, I don't want to hear about retirement. That's for old people. Well, it's not for old people. And so what I'm doing, I'm flipping it, saying retirement is just building wealth. And wealth is going to help you live longer and enjoy your life whenever you decide not to work. The message is not changing from Dave and myself or from Rachel and myself on the money side. I'm just changing up the method on how I deliver the content. So if parents are driving right now, you say, man, my daughter just won't listen. I want to go to college debt free. Cool. Put her onto my content. Get her over to my show because she's going to get the same message that you're getting from the Ramsey Show, but she's going to get it in a way that is more appealing and that is more understanding to her and her age bracket. One of the things I tell young people, especially right now, being a former youth pastor, and I tell youth pastor this, you never want to talk to an 11th grader like an 11th grader. You want to talk to an 11th grader like he or she is a freshman in college because they look up to the college age. Middle schoolers don't want to be treated like middle schoolers. They want to be treated like high schoolers.
So level up when you're talking.
Level up when you're talking to them. Never go way down to the level because they don't feel respected. They don't feel important. No, when you treat a 8th grader like a rising 10th grader, like, oh yes. And so it's like for me, that's why for me, all of my mentors are older than me. They're in their 50s. They're in their 60s. Why? Because I want the wisdom that they have. Because one day I want to be like Dave Ramsey. One day I want to be like Bishop T.D. Jakes. One day I want to be like Dr. Tony Evans. One day I want to be like Mark Cuban. So I'm looking older. I'm getting my information from someone older, but not too much older than me. Gotcha. And so at the table, man, we're simply just really, I'm staying in tune with the culture. I'm staying in tune with what is the world saying about wealth and about, stuff like that. And I'm teaching them, man. And this is the truth. I just recently purchased my car and I put it on my Instagram and I put it on my YouTube. Some people say, well, why did you say that? But let me tell you why. Young people are looking at these celebrities and saying, I want that car, I want that house. But then they're looking at them and they're not understanding that these people are financing it. They're putting on lease. They're not paying their bills so they can look a certain kind of way. It's not real. Yeah. And what I'm trying to show them is like, hey, we can get our dreams. We can go after everything that we want, but there is a way to do it. And we got to have a solid foundation. And so for me and my brand, I want to show them, hey, I waited 6 years so I can save for this car. I'm waiting another 3 years so I can build my dream house. I waited to do this because I wanted to make sure I was out of debt. I wanted to make sure I had a fully funded emergency fund. I wanted to make sure when I purchased my home, I wasn't house broke. I wasn't house poor. So that's what we're doing over in my show, man. I don't want to talk too much, man.
Go to youtube.com and subscribe to At the Table with Anthony O'Neill.
Yes.
It's awesome. All right, let's go to what's up?
Real quick, let's get a phone call.
Let's go to Noel in Miami, Florida. What's going on? How we doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. How can we help?
I called Dave years back in 2014 about paying off a student loan, and I did that, and then called back again about saving up, for a house. And I started saving emergency fund and started putting money into, more money in the 401k and saving for a house. So basically, 3B, which I'm still in 3B. It's like mini B. And along the path, I got engaged. We could not get on the same path in terms of the finances. Broke up in about 18 months, got back together, and then got engaged. And I was compromising in some areas that I really didn't want to. And then ended up, things just, didn't work out and broke the engagement off.
Hey, Noel, we're sliding right up against the clock. Let's get right to your question.
I've got $155,000 saved up towards a house, and housing is very expensive. And so the whole time since I've been saving, I thought I was in a 3 to 5 year window of either investing or just saving cash. And so I want to know, should I be stopping the cash and putting into a mutual fund or putting some into a mutual fund now? Not, necessarily. I can't, really afford a house based upon a 25%, take-home pay in the area where I work. So just trying to see some guidance on continue to save for the house to have more.
So listen, man, sorry we had to cut you off so quick, but here's the thing. If you're going to buy the house within the next 3 to 5 years, keep it in a money market account so you can put it towards the house. If not, go ahead and put it into a mutual fund so that way you can get a little bit more interest for it if you're going to do it after 5 years from now. All right? So sorry we had to cut you off, bro.
I want to thank James Childs and Kelly Daniel for another great show. Anthony.
Hey, John. Love you, man.
Love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Ramsey Show.
Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts.